Hello, everyone. Here for Empire season 2, episode 9. We're almost at the season finale, so let's get into it. This episode is basically about Cookie finding her sister, or while trying to do her cookout. So it starts off with Cookie and her sister Candace. They're in Philadelphia looking for their sister Carol, who basically, I guess she relapsed or whatever, and they had to go to Philadelphia to find her. So, Cookie and Candace are all over Philadelphia looking for her. They've been looking for her for 2 days, couldn't find her. So, eventually, Cookie and Candace got into an argument about how if Carol comes up dead or missing or whatever, the blame is put on Cookie, and Cookie is like, well, it's always my fault. And sidebar, I really wish Candace would stop calling her Laretha. It just doesn't feel right to me. She's Cookie. Call her Cookie. Stop calling her Laretha, okay? So, Cookie goes to meet up with an old friend named Pepper. They were in jail together, so Pepper tells her, Carol's been hanging out with Boz, and Cookie knows who that is. She said he's a woman beater. And Pepper takes them to go find her. So at first they went in a crack house looking for her, and they thought that they found her, but they didn't. It wasn't her. So then they found her sitting like on a couch outside of this building or whatever. She had these crusty cornrows. And, Cookie made her, she was sitting next to the guy, I guess, who's the woman beater. Cookie made her get up and come with them. So, my initial thought is, I love Tasha Smith as an actress, but Tasha Smith plays a crackhead too well. The first time I ever saw her on TV, she was playing, I forgot her name, Ronnie. Her name was Ronnie on The Corner. And she was Gary McCullough's, I guess, like crackhead girlfriend, like they were shooting up together or whatever. But yeah, that was like the first role I ever seen her in. And then I started seeing her in like more acting roles. And then, I guess she caught Tyler Perry's attention. So she's been, with Tyler Perry and whatnot. But yeah, Tasha Smith, she plays a damn good crackhead. Like, it's believable. I mean, I know the girl don't really do crack, but she plays a good crackhead. Y'all hear me? So Cookie, Candace, and Carol, they're sitting in a restaurant and they're getting something to eat, and then they're talking about who Carol was going to stay with. So Candace was like, well, you could stay with me, but Carol was like, well, what's going to happen? Well, no. Carol said that she wanted to stay with Cookie, but she asked Candace, well, what's going to happen to my kids if I go to New York? So Candace is like, I'll keep them. So Cookie is like, well, I might not be so bad after all since she wants to come with me. So when she got up to go to the bathroom, Candace was like, y'all deserve each other. And she's like, yeah, well, like, basically, I know she won't judge me or whatever, or something like that. And Candace was like, well, if only she knew what you did while she was in prison, it wouldn't be a reunion. So now everybody is like, oh, shoot, what did she do while Cookie was locked up? The first initial thought everybody was saying was that maybe she slept with Lucius while she was locked up. I mean, Lucius seemed like he was a little man whore while Cookie was locked up, because season 1 he got Olivia pregnant and tried to pawn it off as the kid being Jamal's, because he wanted Olivia to be Jamal's beard. He didn't want people to know that Jamal was gay. So, and then he was engaged to Anika. So it's like, who really knows the backstory of what happened while Cookie was locked up? So what else happened? Jamal, Lucius. Jeez, why did that took a lot to come out. Lucius, had like a press conference or whatever to meet up with, I guess like the label, the executives and all of that. Like he announced that Jamal is doing his next album, and the first single is going to be with Sky Summers. Now, Sky Summers was Alicia Keys. But Sky, she pretty purple hair, cute outfit or whatever. Like, a different type of look for Alicia Keys. But they got together, they were doing music together, and Jamal played her like a ballad, and she wasn't really feeling it. So Jamal happened to walk in on her playing a song on the piano, and she was singing it like with so much depth, like, you know, real powerful. And he's like, that's a beautiful song. Why don't we just, you know, do that together? And she's like, well, I sing, you know, bubblegum pop sorority songs. You know, this is out of my lane, so it might not be received. And she's like, if I start singing my truth, my fans may turn against me. Jamala's like, if they're your true friends, they won't. If they're your true fans, they won't turn against you at all. They'll ride with you. And I'm like, yeah, usually if you have fans, 100% fans, they'll ride with you no matter what. They may like something that you do. They may not like something that you do. But if they're your fans, they'll continue to buy your music. They'll continue to support you. So her and Jamal collab on, I guess the song was called Powerful. I don't know. That's what it sounded like. But they were singing and they vocalizing everything together. And then like towards the end, because Jamal kept telling her that he's her super fan, towards the end, they basically like, you know, saw that they had like a lot more in common than usual. Next thing you know, they kissed. So I'm like, oh shoot, Jamal. Oh shoot. And everybody was saying on Twitter, Jamal don't like men's no more. He is delivered. So I'm like, let's see how this is gonna play out next episode. So all while this is going on, Hakeem is getting ready for the cookout. He's practicing a song with Laura. And it's a duet. And I guess somebody was like periscoping it. And while they're periscoping it, Boo Boo Kitty is in her house on the phone watching the live broadcast. And next thing you know, you look down, she has Laura's home address, pictures of Laura and Hakeem with lies scribbled on it, and then a heart around Hakeem's face. And I'm like, yo, Boo Boo Kitty is like acting mad Fatal Attraction-ish. Like, what the hell? So we go to Lucius, and Lucius is like, he bought Andre and Rhonda like this house with 6 bedrooms for the baby, and that, you know, he said ever since Hakeem said that he no longer wants to be a lion, he had to focus on the next generation, which is his grandson. Now, my question is, did they ever find out that it was a boy that she was having? Because I don't remember them saying what the sex of the baby is, but Lucius is damn sure saying that it's a boy. And I don't remember them saying it's a boy. And then on top of that, 1 minute Rhonda is pregnant, the next minute she don't look pregnant. So what kind of prosthetic belly? Like, I'm not expecting for her to be like, you know, 9 months along already, because I'm pretty sure, like they said, this season takes part 3 months after Lucius was arrested. So I'm pretty sure not that much time has passed, and but 1 minute she got a baby bump, the next minute she don't, like, I don't know, whatever. So Lucius basically told Andre that he got that house for his grandchild, and he wants to make all of these things happen before his grandson is born, and he wants Andre to do this, that, and the third. But I'm like, so Andre had to get his wife pregnant to get your approval, to get your love, to get your respect, whatever. So Boo Boo Kitty meets up with Rhonda, and they start talking, and you know, Boo Boo Kitty basically told her, Rhonda basically told Boo Boo Kitty, well, you know, babies are like kryptonite to Lucius. That's the best way to get in with him. So when she said that, Boo Boo Kitty like coughed, and she's like, well, what's wrong? She was like, well, I'm in love. It's not somebody you know, but I let him go. You know, I let him go. We took a break for a while, but he made a song that I saw yesterday, and it just brought me back. So Rhonda was like, well, have I ever told you the ponytail story? And she's like, no. She's like, well, this girl that we were in school with was trying to get at Andre when we were in college. So I snuck in her dorm at night, and I cut her ponytail off, took a picture of it, and sent it to her the next day with the caption that read, mess with Andre again, I'm going to keep cutting your hair off. So Boo Boo Kitty was like, well, what happened next? She was like, well, I'm here, aren't I? Like, basically, look at me. I got the house. I got the baby. I got the marriage. I'm set. So I'm like, yo, Rhonda doesn't even realize that she is basically giving Boo Boo Kitty a loaded friggin' gun. And she's basically saying, you know, just pull the trigger. I'm like, geez. So Hakeem is like having this little party. And, you know, you hear his freestyle battle, like rap playing in the background. So him and Laura are talking about maybe if they'll use that song for the cookout. And then somebody's like, yo, you know, Anika's here. So Anika comes in and she's like, oh, I guess my invite got lost in the mail. And, you know, your little Jenny from the block tramp right here, she lives in a, like, I guess, like, some type of building or whatever with 7 brothers and sisters or something like that. Like, basically trying to downplay her, to Hakeem. And Hakeem is like, well, you're acting crazy. Like, you need to stop or whatever. So she eventually left, met up with Hakeem again the next day. And, you know, she's like, I hope you're not mad about last night, but I felt like she needed to know about us. And Hakeem was like, there is no us. You need to get that through your head. We're friends, and you've been there for me when I needed you, but there is no us. And she's like, well, why you can't admit that you love me? What are you afraid of, Lucius? She was like, every time something happens, you run to me. I don't run to you. But also, Boo Boo Kitty had told Laura at the party that the song that they were singing together was originally for Camilla. And y'all remember Camilla was Naomi Campbell, season 1. The song they were singing was originally for Camilla, but he gave it to Laura, you know, just, I guess, to make her jealous or whatever. So Hakeem is like, listen, I don't love you like that. We're cool. We'll always be tight, but I don't love you like that. And he's like, you'll never be a lion, so stop trying to be one of us. And I'm like, little do you know, Hakeem, little baby Hakeem Lion is in her uterus right now. So, yeah. So, Laz, I'm going to call him Laz because I know his name now. So Laz, is outside while they're practicing, and Big Heavy comes in and, you know, says, why are we just going for the gigs? Why don't we just knock them down from all sides? And Laz is like, you know what, the deal is off because that's not what we plan to do. So basically Laz is going with his heart because he loves Cookie. And, you know, Big Heavy is like, you sure you want to do that? I got guns a blazing too. And he's like, no, you just need to leave. So Hakeem confronted him about it, and he was like, why did he pay us a visit? And Laz was like, don't worry about it, I handled it. It's not your problem. So Lucius, when Cookie was in Philly, Lucius was calling her to tell her about Swiftstream, but she wasn't trying to hear it. She was trying to meet up with Pepper. So he came and he pretended to be Laz, filling all up on her. And she's like, get out of here. So he was telling her about Swiftstream, and he said that the only way that he'd be able to go through with it is if she signed her rights over from the early songs. I think that were either Hakeem's or Jamal's. And she's like, she's not doing it. So Laz comes in and him and Cookie make out, and, you know, basically Lucius is like, well, I'm glad to see you sleeping your way to the bottom. And then he knocks this bottle of wine over and says, well, you can get your maid to clean it up after. I'm like, yo, Lucius, you mad petty. You don't waste good wine. I mean, I don't really like red wine, but I'm pretty sure that was some good wine that he spilled on the carpet. I'm just saying. So then Cookie, Hakeem, and Laz are in the office, and she's wondering why he changed venues for her cookout, and he said that he wanted to do like a space in the Bronx that was bigger, and she said she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to go to the Bronx. She sold out Rocksteady Park, so that's what she wanted to stick with. So Hakeem is like, well, I hope Big Heavy ain't have nothing to do with it or whatever, you know, still questioning him about the kidnappers. So then in walks Lucius, and Lucius is like, well, I couldn't get Pretty Boy off my mind, and when you told me your name, I looked you up, and you're down with the Bulls. And Cookie is like, what are you talking about? He said the 125th Street Bulls. And then Hakeem was like, yeah, the guys that kidnapped me got a bull on their back. Does he have one? So Cookie finally put the pieces together, looked on his back, there's the bull. And she was like, you know what? Save it. And then she gave Lucius the gun, told Hakeem, let's go. And I guess that was Lucius' cue to decide Laz's fate. Because the look that he gave, it was like, sorry. But, yeah, that was basically the episode. It was a pretty good episode. It was a hot mess, a pretty good episode. Now, the season finale, like, it's going to be crazy because Camilla comes back. Something happens where they trying to vote Lucius out as the CEO and whatnot of Empire. And I'm like, how you going to vote him out? That's his, you know, record label. He's the man. He started it, so how y'all vote him out? I'm like, whatever. But yeah, that was the episode. It was pretty good. Y'all let me know how y'all felt. Ooh, sorry. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Laters.